weekly look at all of the hot topics in HR.
Whether it's passive talent or it's active talent.
That's a soft skill that really gets undersold in the hiring process.
How to manage in the virtual environment.
You get a diverse, cultured group of people. It's a win-win for everybody.
More conversion from candidate leads.
What does that look like in this new virtual world?
Welcome everyone to Talent Experience Live. It is Thursday, noon Eastern time, and you know what that means. It is time to look at the hot topics in HR, have some conversations with leaders in the industry, as well as talk about hot new HR tech. This show covers everything that you need to know in recruitment, talent acquisition, and talent management. So while you're here now, share it out to your network. Sharing is caring. We love to chat with HR professionals throughout the show. So definitely make your voice heard in the comment section. That is one of the beautiful aspects of doing things live, is that this isn't pre-recorded. There is live interaction. We can flash your comments up on the screen. So definitely make your voice heard. And remember, if you can't catch the full episode, if perhaps you are about to go eat lunch, maybe go for a run, whatever the case may be, you can always watch the full episode on YouTube or on the Phenom blog, which is phenom.com/blog. And YouTube, of course, is www.youtube.com for those of you who are interested in. Today, we have an exciting topic. We missed you last week. We were doing a 4-day virtual event called I Am HR. And today we are going to talk about the top 5 employer brands that are truly getting talent experience right. What are today's leading HR teams doing to amplify hiring, improve employee experience, despite this challenging job market that we are all in? We've heard of the great resignation, the tsunami turnover, all of these really terrifying things. So today we are going to hear from Southwest Airlines, KinderCare Education, Newell Brands, Thermo Fisher Scientific, the MITRE Corporation, and how they are all leveraging artificial intelligence to really thrive in this new era of talent experience. But before we jump into that, I always love to start the episode off to try and get a little bit of interaction from the crowd. I see some people chiming in, a couple people tuning in from India. Welcome, everyone. Today's icebreaker question is, it is officially fall. I know last week was the official kickoff, but since this is the first episode in fall, I want to hear what your favorite part about fall is. And if it is pumpkin spice lattes, why are you a serial killer? Because there's so many great things about fall. It could be the foliage, that little bit of chill in the air, of course, football season. So let me know what your favorite part about fall is. I certainly love fall. As I've gotten older in age, it's been one of my favorite seasons, if not my favorite season. But as I mentioned, today we are talking about the top 5 employer brands that are truly getting talent experience right. I know I mentioned that this is all from I Am HR, which is last week. And you may be saying, Devin, it's last week. Why are we going over this again? And the truth be told is you can still access all of these sessions in full. We actually had 24 sessions last week from Tuesday through Friday. It was 4 separate days, each focusing on an individual experience within the talent experience. So that's candidates, that's employees, that's recruiters, and that is also managers. So definitely check out that content. You can still register and view it on demand. You will miss myself and Jonathan Dale's, JD's commentary throughout. So definitely register for the next one. But you can still access all of this information and share it out to your teams as well. I see a couple people are beginning to chime in with what their favorite parts about fall are. Caitlin says sweater weather. Casey says football for sure. And Caitlin also says she loves a good PSL. For those of you at home, that is not a personal seat license. That is a pumpkin spice latte. So clearly, Caitlin and I have something to talk about after this show. My favorite part of fall, it has to be, it's beanie season. I am a sucker for a good beanie. It really can complement and pull an outfit together, as strange as that may be. Even though I'm not allowed to wear beanies on this show, rest assured, I am wearing it throughout the rest of the day, as anyone can attest to who may have joined me on any of my previous meetings. I see Kelsey chimes in and says anything pumpkin spice. That seems to be the trend in my household as well. I have had pumpkin spice cinnamon muffins recently, pumpkin spice waffles, and of course, there are pumpkin spice K-Cups in addition to that. But enough about fall. I love the interaction. Let's keep this going. Today, we are really diving into my 5 favorite sessions from IMHR. I mentioned there are a ton of great sessions in addition to these, so definitely you can still register at phenom.com/IMHR-2021, because even though it still feels like we are stuck in 2020, it is almost time for 2022. The next thing that I want to cover is the top 5 employer brands that we kicked off the show with. So we are first going to hear from Newell Brands and their plan for a red carpet employee experience. In this session, Ashley Blackmore, Senior Management of Talent Acquisition, gives us a firsthand look at how Newell Brands, a consumer goods retailer, is really empowering their employers with transparent and actionable ways for them to develop their skills. Of course, they're using AI to skills match as well as career path and with referrals. But we are going to now air that session from Ashley.
Hello, everyone. I am Ashley Blackmore. I'm a Senior Manager of Talent Acquisition with Newell Brands and manage all of our operations. And today I'm going to talk about Red Carpet Employee Experience launch. So I'll go into a little bit of why we decided to look at the product, as well as why I got so excited about it. I have been here 12 years, and the biggest, I would say, kind of consistent feedback we've got from our internals is that they don't have visibility to all of the openings. They feel like individuals are almost tapped on the shoulder at times, and also just not a great job alert process. Also wasn't a great view or experience, especially when referring friends, etc. And also the biggest thing we've done recently at Newell is we have implemented our new values, which are truth, transparency, teamwork, and trust. And we like to use that obviously in everything that we do at Newell. And so with that, I feel like we're able to pull it in as all roles will now be posted globally, which equals transparency, to where we can live by our word, which is truth, and work as a team, teamwork, to have our internal employees trust that we have their futures in mind. So that was what we were really looking at when we started to decide that we were going to implement the product. We had to look at, what are the next steps to really get the product out there? And with Newell being we're a $6 billion global organization, we had to ensure we approached it properly and that the launch was going to be adopted by everyone within the organization. So the steps that we took from the initial meeting were to really look at getting cross-functional buy-in. And so with that, I demonstrated the product. Everyone loved it, which I was not surprised. So we were able to then gain their buy-in, and then we really hit the gas pedal. So we then partnered with HRIT, IT, corporate communications, and the different business units, as well as facilities, for a full global launch plan. And that included flyers and swag that we placed on each employer's desk at our corporate headquarters, which were Newell products, of course. There were also flyers that were sent to all offices and manufacturing locations for distribution. We also worked with communications that were sent 3 weeks prior, the Friday before, and then one for go live. And then we will have some future communications as well as follow-ups. Also, banners were designed to run on our television monitors in all offices, a banner in our internal site, and also announcing the launch on the day of, as well as presentations were scheduled at global office locations. So I also want to then now kind of walk you through our journey as far as what it used to look like, and then kind of what we added in working with Phenom. So where we started is this lovely screen, which is really, I could like to call it a data dump. So again, this has been something we have looking to change for a long time. It's just not very user-friendly. It's hard to locate jobs. Again, it's hard to find where to refer a friend. That's where employees were coming to TA a lot with questions on how to do so. So this is where we landed once we have now implemented with Phenom. So this now, of course, mirrors and I feel like looks like our external site. So now our internals are getting the great same experience that we have been able to give our externals. So you will see this is the landing page, and this is what it now looks like, a little bit easier to navigate than what it looked like before. So the next thing we did is changed the job search capabilities. So I love the image that we were able to get together here. But you can browse jobs by, several different ways, which I love. It will also match jobs to you, and you can also set up job alerts that are AI ran. So before, again, the job alerts would either work, not work. Now they are going to be based, on the skills that the candidate is putting in. It is going to match their location preferences, their skills, and it will continue to learn more, as the candidate does more in the system. So we feel like they really will feel like they have more control over their own career. And then this will be the new internal applicant view. Now they have a very quick, simple view. What I love as well is they can also share the opportunity on their social media if they feel like it's not a fit for them, but possibly someone else. This is our referrals page. So with referrals, we've always gotten referrals at Newell. I'm proud to say, I would say we all love working here. We all love our brands and products and get excited about it. But this referral program to me kind of takes it to the next level again. So with this, it's actually going to track it. So at all times, the referrer will be able to see, are they an HM interviewer? Are they interviewing? Did they get an offer? It will then also track all of their referrals that were hired and the amounts that they received. So the DIMB page is where I'm very excited again. It's got all of our ERGs listed there, and some feedback we had received was it was very difficult on how to navigate how to join each one. So we've now made it just easy process for them to join any of them. You can also view the calendar, which there is quite a bit on there, which is great. So you can see the calendar for each ERG and what's going on and sign up for which things you'd like to. And now this is what we had 48 hours post-launch. So you'll see, which is exciting. We had 646 employees logged in, 880 employee visits. And a big thing for us, we had 26 apply clicks. So for us to have internals find and be able to apply to 26 jobs in that amount of time is huge for us. The other exciting thing on this page is referrals. So we had 21 referrals total, which came through, which is, again, extremely exciting for us. It's something that we feel has always been something we've tried to push for, but I think this is going to take it to the next level. So as far as next steps from here, now that we've gotten here, so next we plan on continuing to monitor the analytics, specifically at 7 days, 30 days, and 60 days. So how many profiles are we getting? Are people still looking and adding profiles? How much time they're spending on the page? We'll continue to promote the product as well. So sending out notes globally. Just reminding people to create their profiles. Obviously, we have a lot of new hires, so continuing to push that process and make it a part of onboarding that they need to go in and create their profile. So we will continue to push and market the updated referral process as well. We are going to put a new process in place for our recruiters being able to access and recruit internals. So we are working with Learning and Development as they already have a talent process in place. Right now it's Director Plus. So we are hoping this is going to kind of help fill in that gap. And so our recruiters will have access to the CRM. They will now then be able to see who's internal, who's a referral, and then we will just come up with a new process of how we approach those internals. So that's kind of next step as well. And then also we will track our internal hires through multiple systems to make sure we're increasing our percentage of internal moves. That is actually one of our Chief Human Resources Officer's big goals over the next 2 to 3 years for us, is to significantly increase our internal promotions and internal moves. And so that is something I'll be tracking, obviously, through Phenom, as well as our ATS, as well as our internal system HCM, to make sure that we are making traction. And if not, what do we need to look at? What do we need to change? There are definitely other modules within Phenom that we will be looking to add as well. We will look to add gigs. We will look to add mentors. There's things that we weren't ready yet for phase 1, as we call it, but definitely looking at for phase 2. So there's other features in there that are very exciting that we haven't had the chance to get to yet, but that's definitely on our roadmap.
That was Ashley's session from I Am HR last week. She was talking all around the employee experience. One thing that I forgot to mention at the top of the program is these are shortened sessions. So if you want to catch the full sessions, you can definitely still register for I am HR. Everything is accessible on demand. So definitely do that. You want to share out these sessions. They're all clickable. You can only watch, you can watch the ones that only pertain to you, or if you want to broaden your knowledge, like it sounds like the good folks over at Newell Brands are doing with their employees, you can do that as well and learn anything about the candidate experience, employee experience, recruiter, or manager experience. Shout out to Newell Brands as well. I have made the switch. I am a full-time Sharpie guy now. A lot of people don't know that's how I get all these tattoos. I draw them on every single morning with a Sharpie. Just kidding. But anyway, moving on. Our next clip is one of our favorite customers. It is from Southwest, and this session is entitled Sky's the Limit inside Southwest's employee referral program. Also, shout out to the Notorious B.I.G. for the motivation behind that session title. In this particular session, we are going to hear from Kelby Tansey, who is team recruitment and marketing lead, as well as Tyler Haygood, who is team leader and sourcer, and the importance of really them working collaboratively to increase referrals. A tale as old as time is that referrals are oftentimes your best hire. I can say that because I am a referral, and I am one of the best hires that Phenom has. So Southwest also has a very lucrative referral program for their employees. And in this session, both Kelby and Tyler talk all about it. So without any further hesitation, let's hear from them.
I'm Tyler Haygood. I work at Southwest Airlines with Kelby, and I lead the sourcing team. Kelby and I partner closely together on the referral program, and we'll be digging in and telling you a little bit more about that today.
Awesome. I'm Kelby Tansey, and I lead our recruitment marketing team here at Southwest Airlines. And we're excited to chat with you a little bit more, as Tyler said, about our employee referral incentive program that we have just recently launched, and the ways that we utilize Phenom's technology to really enable that program, optimize it, and make it the very best that it can be. So we launched Phenom's internal mobility platform in January of 2019. Upon launch, we made the decision to promote our referral program, but not to incentivize it. And that has been going well for a couple of years. But of course, as I'm sure many of you know, as we have all ridden out the pandemic and gotten to this point, the labor market has been very tough, tougher than probably many of us expected. And so we've been looking at many levers to pull to really just increase our candidate pools, to really tap into those quality candidates and hire the very best here at Southwest Airlines. And one of those that we had identified was incentivizing this employee referral program. So we chose to incentivize our referral program with internal rewards that align with our overall employee recognition strategy. We call them swag points here at Southwest, but they allow our employees to go onto an internal platform, purchase things like gift cards, experiences, or even the coveted buddy pass for our employees to be able to potentially provide flights to family members or friends. We were able to incentivize the referral program through two different pathways. One was through a drawing. So just for submitting a referral, you would be entered into a drawing, and every week from mid-August through mid-November, we are drawing 5 employees to win 5,000 swag points every week. Then the second was by submitting a referral that is then hired. And upon hire, the employee will receive 10,000 swag points. And at the 6-month mark, when that referred employee has been here 6 months, the referring employee would receive an additional 10,000 swag points. Now, an employee referral incentive program is nothing new, but there's a lot of different ways that we took advantage of Phenom's platform in order to really optimize it. And I think that's one of the key takeaways here today. We were able to do several company-wide communication touch points and then lead them back into the internal mobility platform to learn more or refer somebody. At the same time, when logging into the internal mobility platform for the first time, those employees were setting up their profiles. So we're really getting 2 things when they go into refer an employee. One, a more complete employee profile that we're able to let them know about potentially career mobility opportunities at Southwest, and a referred candidate. On the other side of the utilizing the entire Phenom suite was really utilizing the CRM once we have a referred candidate, whether that's through automated communication to let them know a little bit more about jobs at Southwest, or even just referral communication out to them about the best way to set up a complete profile, to learn more about us, even back to the referrer themselves, an automated email thanking them for their referral and then giving them a few tips and tricks to make that referral as successful as possible. That being said, I'll pass it over to Tyler, who can talk a little bit more about how his team engages with our referrals and some of the processes we've set up there, as well as some of the results that we've seen just over the last few weeks since we've launched.
Thank you, Kelby. So like I mentioned, my name's Tyler. I lead the sourcing team. One of the main things that we do on the sourcing team is bring opportunities to candidates. And the referral program sitting in our space makes total sense. What we often find ourselves asking questions around are, how do we bring the most to the referrals? How do we make sure we're being mindful of this candidate experience? How do we ensure that we're converting as many of these referrals into potential hires? And then at the same time, how do we balance hospitality with manpower, the administrative tasks that come with that, in order to be able to scale this program? Because, as Kelby mentioned in the beginning, a lot of the referrals were coming organically, and we wanted to figure out, well, how do we, eventually we want to start getting more of that, and we want to really lean into referrals, because as you've seen, if you look at any of the numbers behind referrals, the engagement's higher. They typically, your retention is higher if you bring them on as employees. Pick the column, and they're kind of checking the box for a quality hire and a quality candidate. So we want to leverage that and continue to grow it. And we've gotten to a point where we're on some really good things, and we're adding additional tools to our toolbox. One of which I want to talk about are referral info sessions that we host. So the first touch point we've discovered that is great is we set up multiple touch points with these info sessions. These info sessions are hosted a few times a week. We've made an effort to find times that are available for the public, that maybe it's over the lunch hour or after hours. That way they can still juggle their job and still be able to meet with Southwest Airlines and get that content that we have for them. The topics that we cover in these info sessions are, how to put your best foot forward, how to interview correctly, especially in a virtual environment. We always go over the culture at Southwest Airlines. That's a big part of who we are and in our DNA. And at the same time, we have live chat going on. We have an FAQ we go through. And then at the end, anyone that wants to ask questions is able to do so. So even if the info session has 100 people inside of the meeting, I feel like they still get that connection with Southwest Airlines, and it gives that initial touch point for us, so we are able to connect with more people. We also are weaponizing our referrals and lining those up with large hiring efforts. As we came out of the pandemic, we had all of this pent up demand, and now we're in a position where we're hiring at volumes we haven't had to hire before. So now what we're doing is we're taking these troubled markets that we identify, and we're lining up direct calling campaigns against them. So whenever we know a position is going to post, we are calling into that market weeks ahead of time, letting those referrals know, hey, get your resume dusted off, get ready. This position is going to post, and go be at the top of the stack. That way, whenever it comes time, you're ready to go. The recruiter sees you right there, and we're bringing you through the process. We've seen a lot of success for this already. So it's just one of the many things that we're uncovering as we really dig into the referrals. It's in terms of volume that we're seeing now. I want to touch on that a little bit. Before, organically with the brand, with people just finding the opportunity to submit referrals, we were seeing about 125 a week. Now we're seeing about 1,000 a week with the new incentivized program, which is amazing. It does create its own challenges, but I think that some of the strategies we put in place are combating those. We're constantly focused on how do we deliver that hospitality, how do we meet the needs of the referrals and the referrers, for that matter, to where we keep them coming back, and we keep them bringing more referrals to us. So so far the results have been great. We're seeing at least 50% of these referrals giving us full profiles where we can go in and directly pipeline them, put them to the markets that we can leverage against, and turn these referrals into applicants. So hopefully that gave you an idea of how we're leveraging the referral program here at Southwest Airlines. It was a pleasure for me to be able to share with you how the sourcing team is taking these referrals and driving them through the process and trying to provide that hospitality along the way. Kelby, any words for them as we go?
Thanks for the opportunity to chat a little bit and to share how we're utilizing this technology. We truly appreciate the time, and we're excited to see the results of this over the coming months.
Thanks, Kelby and Tyler. As we mentioned, that was all about Southwest's referral program. Lots of great takeaways there. They talked about their swag points and the coveted buddy pass, which is really increasing the number of referrals that they get and how they've been able to scale it and also automate it to get more talent in the door. As we know, referrals are a great source of talent. So it was awesome to hear from Southwest in that. And also, when we were live last week, I mentioned, how do I get some swag points? And Kelby was quick to mention that Southwest is hiring. So definitely feel free to apply if you are on the job market, maybe refer a friend or two and hopefully get some swag points and maybe that coveted buddy pass that they mentioned. Next up, we are going to hear from Thermo Fisher Scientific. And this is ahead of schedule, how they are booking interviews faster with automation. And this we hear from Amy Ritter. She's Senior Director of TA Operations at Thermo Fisher Scientific. And I know from my experience as a recruiter how awful scheduling is. You probably all know that at home as well right now, since there seem to be a lot of Zoom meetings that used to just be quick conversations around the office or quick phone calls, right? We have these time blocks on our calendar on a regular basis. And when you throw a candidate into the mix, it becomes even more haywire, and then tenfold when you throw a hiring manager into the mix. So with this, we learn from Thermo Fisher Scientific, specifically Amy's experience and how their team has been able to save time, which equates to saving dollars, right? It allows recruiters to be more like talent advisors rather than schedulers. So we learn all about how they are leveraging automated scheduling and what it really is giving them time to do in the future. So without any more hesitation, let's hear from Amy.
Hi, my name's Amy Ritter, and I'm the Senior Director of Talent Acquisition Operations and Enabling Solutions at Thermo Fisher Scientific. As with most operations roles, I tend to wear a lot of hats, but the hats I enjoy wearing the most are candidate experience and delivering scalable, efficient solutions for our talent acquisition team members. For those not familiar, Thermo Fisher Scientific is the world leader in serving science. Our mission is to enable our customers to make the world healthier, cleaner, and safer. Our global team of more than 85,000 colleagues help customers in finding cures for cancer, protecting the environment, making sure our food is safe, and are advancing thousands of important projects that will improve millions of lives. Within the last 18 months, many of those projects have been focused on fighting the global pandemic through the manufacturing of COVID testing, patient therapeutics, and vaccine production. From a talent acquisition standpoint, our team has been facing rapid and unprecedented growth in a very short space of time. Additionally, like everyone else, we're not shielded from the extremely tight labor market and all of the competition out there. These factors have meant that in 2021 alone, we will more than double our requisition volume and are forecasting to close more than 40,000 requisitions this year. We are finding that candidates are considering multiple opportunities at once, and in some cases are entertaining multiple offers. Engaging experiences, recruiter productivity, and speed are critical for us like never before. We've had many projects focused on these areas this year, but I wanted to highlight a very recent project that allowed us to address all of these areas with one implementation. Last month, we piloted Phenom's Interview Scheduling Assistant with our US recruitment team. The Interview Scheduling Assistant creates a seamless, automatic, AI-powered interview scheduling experience within the Phenom CRM platform. Our global team has been leveraging the CRM for the past 18 months and have found tremendous efficiencies with the CRM, fit scoring, and campaigning capabilities. Rather than to continue to add new tools to our recruiters and coordinators' technology stack, it made sense to leverage the interview scheduling functionality right within the CRM, giving them a one-stop shop to engage with candidates and track their hiring progress. We know that candidates' expectations are not all that different from consumers' expectations. Consumers are accustomed to making reservations, booking appointments, or scheduling services online. Offering a similar experience for candidates to schedule interviews is a no-brainer. It allows us to provide efficient and frictionless experience to handle the administrative aspects of the process while conserving energy to focus on preparing for the interview itself. We decided to name our interview scheduling assistant Ruby after Dr. Ruby Hirose, a Japanese-American biochemist who made outstanding contributions to society, including her contribution to the development of the first polio vaccine. Ruby, through a direct API integration with our organization's Office 365 account, allows us to use automation to offer our candidates interview time slots based upon interview team members' availability. Additionally, Ruby allows us to manage interview-related communications by sending templated email messages, responses, and reminders. Ruby is able to accommodate rescheduling and cancellations by proposing alternative times for both interviewers and candidates. The results from our pilot are indicating that Ruby is helping us achieve our objectives of improving recruiter productivity and improving our speed to interview while maintaining a positive experience. More than 1,000 interviews were scheduled in August using Ruby, which accounts for almost 78% of all of the interviews scheduled in the past month. When comparing our August metrics to our July metrics, our time to get interviews scheduled improved by half a day, and our time to complete interviews also improved by half a day, making an entire day that we shaved off of our interview scheduling experience. Additionally, we have a goal to receive responses to all interview requests within 24 hours. Our 24-hour response rate also improved from 95% to 98% month over month, indicating that users are finding the experience positive and easy to use. As we've used the interview scheduling assistant over the past month, we've learned that the tool works best when there are 3 or fewer interview team members and is particularly effective for scheduling recruiter or hiring manager phone screens. For larger interviews, Ruby works best if there are predetermined blocks of time made available on team members' calendars. Lastly, developing scenario-based job aids are also helpful for ensuring strong adoption. We are considering the incorporation of SMS campaigns to build upon our already great results. However, given the early success of our pilot, we've already begun planning our global implementation of Ruby and are looking forward to bringing speed, productivity, and a great experience to all of our candidates.
Thanks, Amy. As I mentioned, that session, the Southwest session, and the Newell Brands session are all available still on phenom.com/IMHR-2021. So if you want to catch the full episodes, or excuse me, full sessions, or any of the other 24 sessions that we had, you can still register right now, sign up, watch it at your own leisure, which is a fantastic segue, if I do say so myself, to the next topic that we are going to cover. It's all about automating events and how to hire in 24 hours and optimize ROI. In this session, we are going to hear from Derek Murphy Johnson, Senior Manager of Talent Acquisition at KinderCare Education. He's going to talk about how they have revamped events, especially for frontline workers. With everyone's schedules being crazy, as we just talked about with Amy previously, events have become a bit of a challenge, but they're necessary, right? It is necessary to get talent in the door for your organization. So he is going to share some of the ways that AI and automation are help saving time for them to make effective events for their candidates that are frontline workers that are out there really spending time in the nitty gritty with children all across the nation. So without any more further hesitation, let's hear from Derek.
Hi, everyone. I am Derek Murphy Johnson, and I lead talent attraction for KinderCare Education. KinderCare Education is the largest early child care education provider in the U.S. And some of the brands that you may know that are under our umbrella are KinderCare Learning Centers, Champions Before and After School Program, and KinderCare at Work. Our organization, we have nearly 40,000 employees across the country, and we operate more than 2,000 locations in 41 states. Like many of you, hourly recruiting has always been a challenge. Adding COVID to it, it's become even more complex. Today, I will show you how we use hiring events to hire hourly workers at scale and show you how we've used our hiring event strategy, communication templates to stay organized and to keep our candidates engaged. Like many of you, COVID impacted our organization dramatically. We closed most of our locations and only had a few hundred locations open that were used to support essential workers. As restrictions started to lift and we were able to open back up, we had a lot of hiring needs that our recruiters and our hiring managers weren't able to support by themselves. And so my team at the time was myself and one other person. And so as we started to reopen and start hiring again, we needed to find out a way that we could solve this need of hiring mass amounts of people. Rebecca and I on my team, we looked at the hiring events in Phenom, and building a hiring event in Phenom is easy and quick. We built a couple templates using our branded images and created communication in our events to tell candidates why they should join KinderCare and the benefits of participating with our virtual hiring events. Following COVID, our organization adopted WebEx and Zoom, which is what we use today when we're doing virtual interviews. We created forms for the hiring managers and recruiters to request hiring events. And on the back end, Rebecca and I had a database that we could use to know what events we needed to build out. And that's how we stayed organized in communication with our candidates. So once we got hiring event requests in Smartsheet, we utilized one of the hiring event templates that we created in Phenom, and we create the hiring event on our career site utilizing the CMS. From there, we engage our previous applicants for whatever area. So we'll take a look at where the hiring manager is requesting support, and we'll go into our applicant tracking system and we'll extract candidates in a certain mile radius. And initially, we send out a hiring event email to all of the candidates that had previously applied to us. In addition to engaging our past applicants, we also utilize Google AdWords and Facebook targeted ads to share the hiring events to external applicants as well. Once we get our advertising strategy built out and activated, as candidates come into the hiring event and start registering, we utilize a recipe, which is a way to send a message to candidates based on action they take in your system. So as candidates come in to register for the hiring event, they will get an automated message 2 hours after they register. And we will ask them to select an interview time. And then also, if we are doing a hiring event for a larger geographical area, we may ask what specific city that they're interested in or what location that they're interested in. So as candidates come in and register, the system automatically puts them in one status. As they respond to us and letting us know what time they'd like to interview and location, we go into the system and we select them as they're scheduled, or we may be communicating to them and we'll change the status as in progress. On the CRM side, we've created several different templates related to the hiring events, where based on if we're in the process of scheduling them or if they've already been scheduled, we have several different drip messages that go out to the candidates based on where they are in that hiring event status. So if they come in and they're registered and they have an interview time, we will send them less messages leading up to the hiring event about engagement, because we've already got them locked in. But we know that in today's world, time to engage and time to connect with your candidates is critical. And so those candidates that are already registered, they're getting more information about our culture, what our employees love working at KinderCare. 24 hours prior to the hiring event, we send another message to all the candidates that are scheduled for the hiring event, making sure that they are confirmed, they don't have any questions, that they have all the technical information they need, and they're excited to engage with our hiring managers. On the same time, we are sending emails to our hiring managers with a list of candidates that are scheduled to meet with them, what type of children that they have experience with, if we've received that information, or what type of what area that they're interested in working. Hiring events are great to be able to hire quickly, but you got to keep the candidates engaged. And hearing directly from the hiring manager, we found is key to retention. Once somebody gets into a hiring event and hears from that hiring manager before the actual event, they're more likely to stay engaged leading up to the event the next day. So we tell hiring managers, reach out to the candidates, send them a text message, let them know that you're excited to connect with them the next day, And from there, we send out a text the next morning, making sure the candidates are ready. Following the hiring event, after the hiring event's completed, we send out a survey to the candidates that either attended the hiring event or registered for the hiring event and didn't participate. We want to know why they registered for the hiring event and didn't participate. And then if they did participate in the hiring event, we want to know if they had a great experience. And if not, how can we do things better? From there, we also survey our hiring managers just to make sure that the hiring managers found the event useful and successful and were able to support their hiring needs. In a course of a week and a half, we had over 160 applicants that registered for a hiring event. From there, we had 79 that actually interviewed with us, and we ended up hiring over 40 of those people that interviewed with us for critical positions in our daycare centers. In today's world with COVID, we're all asked to do more with less. And in many cases, recruitment marketing or talent acquisitions, our budgets are competing for several different initiatives and strategies. We're able to do hiring events, advertise them on Google, advertise them on Facebook, and be able to hire 30, 40 people at a single hiring event with spending less than $50 in advertising and any type of cost. The great thing about hiring events is it gives power to the hiring managers without having to take weeks to hire. Within 24 hours, they can hire several people and being able to staff our centers, giving that peace of mind and also creating a great experience for our parents and our teachers.
Thanks, Derek. Lots of great information in that, as well as pro tips. One thing I want to challenge every recruiter, talent acquisition professional, wherever you fall on the spectrum, is he mentioned $50 to get 45 hires. The next time you go to post out a job and get it advertised on XYZ job board or LinkedIn or wherever it may be, ask yourself, are we getting that type of return? And then replay the episode, right? Or replay the session at IMHR and say, how is Derek doing this effectively? The other thing that he mentioned was the text message the night before and then the morning of. I constantly think too, back when travel was a thing that we did regularly, that text message that you would send to your friends, family, loved one and be like, hey, are you excited to go to Disney World tomorrow? Yes, it revamps that excitement that everyone already has. And then morning of, it's, hey, see you soon. Get excited, wear your Mickey or Minnie ears, and I'll meet you at the airport. They're taking these same things that we do in our daily lives and applying them to hiring hourly and frontline workers to help get talent in the door, especially during this challenging time where we hear about how tight the labor market is. Any tips, tricks, or pro tips are always going to be helpful. So thank you, Derek, and thank you to the good folks over at KinderCare Education for all of the hard work they are doing. In the next session, we are going to hear from the MITRE Corporation and their secret weapon for proactive talent pipelining and hiring manager engagement. We just heard from Derek and how challenging it is to hire for hourly workers and frontline workers. So when you think about a very specified role, that must be next to impossible, mission impossible, if you will. And your team doesn't have the budget to call Tom Cruise and get you out of this tight pinch. So we are going to hear from Crystal Stanfield on how they at the MITRE Corporation are declassifying some of these challenging roles and really filling them with ease rapidly. With that being said, let's hear from Crystal.
So my name is Crystal Stanfield. I'm the Director of Talent Planning and Acquisition at MITRE. Today we're going to be talking about our secret weapon for proactive talent pipelining and hiring manager engagement. So a little bit about MITRE. We are a non-for-profit organization that really solves problems for a safer world. What that means is we operate 7 federally funded research and development centers, and they range from cybersecurity, healthcare, aviation, defense, and even enterprise transformation. Essentially, we're working for a safer, healthier, and more secure nation and world. We were founded back in 1958. We have about 9,000 employees across 60 sites. So, with that said, this year we filled 1,335 external hires. Our fiscal year ends at the end of September, and so that it is about the end of our year. You can see here our source per hire. We have about 39% being directly sourced. Although we do have job postings and great employee referrals, as well as marketing, paid marketing happening, really the bulk of our hires come from sourcing. So what is our secret weapon? 3 things: skills, sourcing, and engagement, all around collaboration. We collaborate together on these 3 areas, helping us to really arm the talent advisor with the right information to go after the right candidate. One of my favorite quotes is Michael Jordan: talent wins games, but teamwork and intelligence wins championships. And that is true in the case with Phenom. When we look at the AI in Phenom and the collaboration with our hiring managers, it really is a perfect recipe for success. So that's what we're going to talk about today, how we collaborate. So let's talk about collaborative sourcing. We do a lot of screen sharing. I feel like that is a best practice in terms of how we kick off a search and our ongoing refinement of a search. We will screen share for searching our own database. In terms of looking at profiles, we screen share through that process. We create Boolean strings on our sourcing tools, and we screen share through that process. We have regular cadence of meetings to sync up on what candidates look great and what refinement we need to do in the sourcing strategy. We really like to look at market insight. In some cases, the candidates that we're seeking are in low supply in a particular market. And so that insight helps us refine our search. Can this role sit in another location where there's more supply? We have those conversations. We also talk about the analytics on the job postings and marketing and any other sourcing efforts that we have for particular requisition. And we encourage an iterative process. Things change. The world we live in changes every day. So as a result of that, we really do like to understand that sometimes midstream things can change, and being okay with that, because sometimes it's that change, that pivot, that really helps us narrow in on the right candidate. So when we talk about refining requisition skills, we do this in Phenom. We take a look at the search, the job description, and the skills criteria, and really focus in on what we're searching for. So really paying attention to the algorithm in terms of what skills it's pulling out of the job description, and are those the right skills? Are there redundancy in those skills? And making sure that we really eliminate the redundancy. And so we do this process with our hiring managers, and we have them provide us with ideal candidates. Sometimes we know who those are from previous searches, and we just load those in there as well. And then in terms of the leads that we do get from the AI, we review those together. We really help train the algorithm to know that they are accurate. This is a good candidate for this role. In terms of searching our own database, we spend a lot of time in the advanced search mode. When we went live with Phenom, we loaded in thousands of candidates from our Workday system. And from there, we really gain the power of really owning our talent community in a way that we didn't have before. So knowing that we can search on really anything to help pull the right candidates out of our talent community is really powerful. So you can see here that we refined a search from down to 134, but seeing that you have 65 total applicants, that means they've already applied, they've already engaged with our brand, but there's still so much opportunity with the other 60. So really getting in there and knowing what we have, it really is helping us recycle, if you will, some of the candidates and applicants from the past that were already engaged with the MITRE brand. And last, sharing data. I know I said this earlier, but the more they know, the more they can help us. And so I have found that when we share data, the hiring managers really like to know what we do. They like to see a source, and they like to see the data because it helps them understand how they can help us. And really, it's a win-win if they can help us. So sharing as much data as possible is always important. And then last, I just would like to say that, we have a future roadmap too. we've come a long way. We implemented Workday, then we implemented Phenom, and we helped really shape the philosophy of how we partner with our hiring managers. But we're going to further that journey by implementing the hiring manager module, which will allow them to have a portal to assist in the skills refinement and really give us their feedback on leads that we've sourced. And then additionally, really maximizing our employee referrals. By implementing an employee referral portal, where we're going to be able to give them the same candidate experience that external candidates are getting in terms of our employees referring people that they know. So with that, I will say thank you for your time today. Hopefully this was helpful. And again, feel free to reach out.
Crystal, thank you for sharing MITRE's secret weapons there. It's almost as if those of you who are familiar with the James Bond franchise, you are Q behind the scenes, giving your team of recruiters, James Bond, and all of the rest of the spies, the secret weapons, right? The tools to be successful, whether it be the Aston Martin or the explosive watch, the pen that shoots out something crazy. That is what you are leveraging Phenom to do to really fill those tough to hire roles. So it's awesome to hear that. Thank you for sharing your secret sauce, your secret weapon, your tools. And for those of you just joining now, we covered sessions from KinderCare, MITRE Corporation, Thermo Fisher Scientific, Southwest Airlines, as well as Newell Brands. And all of these sessions are from IMHR, which was last week. But don't worry, I know we are here this week. You can still access any of the sessions at phenom.com/IMHR 2021, and you can register now. You won't miss any of the content, and it is definitely something that I think can help out everyone's team. So definitely check that out. There are over 24 sessions, and we really tackle the biggest hiring and retention challenges, as well as reinvigorating your team, redesigning the experiences for candidates, employees, recruiters, and managers. This was just a short snippet of that. But before we go, I do want to air a clip, not from last week, but from the week previous, where we chatted with Michelle Sargent, VP of New Business and Partnerships at Recruitix. We talked all around getting your EVP right. Michelle essentially taught us the Rosetta Stone of this new language known as EVP, as well as employer brand. And in this next clip, she is going to explain the key differences between EVP and employer brand, because those terms are not necessarily interchangeable. So with that, let's hear from Michelle.
EVP is the promise you make as an employer to your employees and candidates in return for their commitment to work for you. It entails all the benefits and rewards and differentiations of the organization that they work for. Your employer brand, on the other hand, is the face of the company that you show the outside world, right? It's the sum of all the things that differentiate you and the why. So in other words, the EVP is really why come work here. The employer brand is the how and what it takes to work there, and it's the outside front, right? So you asked me, what are my favorite brands? And my goodness, there are so many. There's so many EVPs and so many brands that go through my brain. I feel that, an EVP or an employment brand that really resonates with me is culture. I'm all about the culture and conveying that. And for me, Chewy does the most amazing job. Chewy has built their EVP and employment brand all around company culture. They do not call their team members. They call them a Chutopian. Like, it makes you want to be a Chutopian. And I don't even know exactly what entails the characteristics, but I just want to be one. I want to be part of that tribe, that to me is really compelling. And I also like examples of someone like a Hershey's who, you think Hershey's, you think chocolate, you get hungry, you want to have a glass of wine with your chocolate. But I love Hershey's EVP. You haven't reached your full potential yet. Neither have we. There's more to be made. There's so much legwork and so much that you can do with that. So if you can be creative with that messaging that really resonates with that candidate, I love the approach of those brands.
Michelle's episode was awesome. One of my favorite. I describe her as the Don Draper of Recruitics when it comes to knowing EVP as well as employer brand. At some point, we are going to meet up and have some martinis and just talk all things Mad Men. So I am excited about that. But if you want to hear a little bit more from Michelle and what she has to share around EVP as well as employer brand, that episode is live on YouTube right now, and it can also be accessed on the Phenom blog, which is phenom.com/blog. Once again, all of the previous sessions, with the exception of Michelle's that we aired today, are from IMHR. Definitely register if you haven't yet. Share it out to your friends, family, loved ones. There is something for everyone who is a part of the talent ecosystem, whether they be candidates, whether they be recruiters, employees, and even managers, all alike. So definitely check that out. If you register, put in the promo code TXL. It is free. I'm just kidding. All of the sessions are free. I can't wait to chat with everyone next week. That way we can talk about what you learned when you registered for IMHR. But in the meantime, I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. Enjoy fall. And if you haven't spoken to someone in a while, wake them up. September is almost over. Thanks so much. Have a good one.